Hi everybody, welcome back to Bring Life Indoors. It's Moira here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Please excuse my lighting, it's not so great today. But anyway, I'm still gonna go ahead and do this video. Today I wanted to do a care tips on this beautiful umbrella plant, how to care for it indoors. It's a beautiful plant. Believe me or not, it's one of the plants I started off with when I started collecting indoor plants. And it was the first one I killed. Yeah, it was the first one I killed. But I'm happy to say I've learned, I've come to understand what it likes, what it doesn't like after killing it once. And I'm happy to say I'm actually doing well with it. I'm doing well with it. It's doing well in my care. So much so that I can actually sit here and give you care tips on it. So yeah, I've learned a lot with this plant. And after having learned what it likes, what it doesn't like, I'm actually happy to say it's a very low maintenance plant, easy to care for indoor plant, very easy. Once you know what it likes, it's very easy. You realize that it's actually a low maintenance plant. So they come in, I have a non-variegated one, and you do get the variegated one, and I'd love to get my hands on it. I mean, those are beautiful. Once I get my hands on it, I'll definitely buy it, the variegated one. So I have the non-variegated one. So let's talk about how do you care for this beautiful, beautiful plant. It's got three common names I know of, which is your umbrella plant, octopus plant, or octopus tree, and then Schefflera, plant. So those are the common names, and I can understand why they call it an umbrella. I mean, the leaves looks like an open umbrella, and I can also understand why they would say it's an octopus tree, because it does look like an octopus, So yeah, so how do we care for this beauty? Let's talk about light. It will do best in a bright indirect light. If you put it in a bright indirect light, any area of your house, it will do best there. It will grow fast, it don't grow too slow, and it won't be leggy, it will be nice and compacted. And even if you have an area in your house where you get morning sun, put it there, it will love it there. But if you place it in an area where it gets medium to low light, unfortunately it's gonna grow slowly, and it's also gonna grow very leggy. And that's what I saw when with this one. It grew so slow simply because of where it was, and very leggy simply because of where I had put it. It was in a medium light area, and it was not growing fast at all. Actually, it was taking forever to grow, and it was also, if it will shoot new shoots, it will be so leggy, it will be so leggy. And I'll tell you what I did to sort that out later on. So that's your lighting. It will do, if you want it to do best and to do well and to be nice and bushy and all that, put it in a bright indirect light. And if you have an area where you get lovely morning sun, put it there. And humidity, one thing I love about these plants, it's not a concern at all. It's not a concern at all, humidity wise. So I don't know. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that. It's not a concern at all. So, yeah. And when it comes to watering, they need good drainage. It's important that you plant them in a pot with a drainage hole, and they don't like wet feet, so they don't like soggy soil, they don't like to sit in water. So you must make sure that your potting soil, it drains well. I always make sure that I mix my potting mix with perlite, because it encourages good drainage. So all my plants, I put, with all my plants, I always put perlite. Even if I feel the potting mix I'm using has good drainage, I always add perlite just to encourage good drainage. So yeah, so when it comes to watering, they don't like to sit in water. So if like this one, when I give it water, I don't let it sit. If there's water in the tray, I don't let it sit in there. I make sure that the water is drained out. And usually, actually, for me, many times I take it to the zinc. I give it water there. I let it sit there until all the water is drained out, and then I bring it back to where it sits. That way, I know that, you know what, there's no more water coming out, which will sit in the tray, which I'm not aware of. And then, because what will that do is it will then cause the roots to rot, and you don't want that. That's how you kill your plants, with root rot. So yeah, so how do I water mine? I water mine when the soil is dry. I let it dry out in between waterings. One thing I like about this plant is that it can tolerate um, a little bit of droughts, if I may put it that way. That's what I've seen. It can really tolerate a little bit of droughts, in the sense that um, rather than it prefers being left to dry out than being soggy, if I may put it that way. It prefers being left to dry out, than you overwatering it. Yeah, let me put it that way. So make sure that it dries out in between watering, and water it thoroughly, and then you leave it alone. Make sure there's no water that it's sitting in, and you're good to go. And make sure that your soil is a good draining mix. You know what I mean? When you pour water, it doesn't lock the water in, and all that. So yeah, let's talk about fertilizing. I fertilize mine once a month during growing season. So spring and summer, I fertilize them once a month. As long as you see that it's growing, it's shooting out new growth, you fertilize it once a month. That's what I do. So that's what I do, and that so far works for me. I haven't had any issues at all. I use a liquid organic fertilizer. Yeah, that works for me. And then talking about what I mentioned earlier, that uh, if you want it to be bushy, or maybe yours is getting all leggy and all that, let's talk about growth. So it can get too big. It can really grow too big. I can't wait for mine to grow very big. I mean, when I bought this, it was pequeñini, it was tiny, it was very small. But to see it where it is, it's like, wow. So they can grow big and even leggy sometimes, like very leggy, depending on if you are not giving it enough light. It can get very leggy. So it's good to prune it. If yours is getting leggy like mine was, I actually decided to prune it, and then I moved it from the spot that it was sitting in, where it was in a medium light area, and I put it in an area where it gets bright light. So that's what I did. That's how I solved the problem I had. And this is what I trimmed out at the end of the day. This is what I trimmed out at the end. Actually more, because some didn't take root in water, but I'll just show you now. So I cut off here, as you can see. That's where I cut off, and then it shoots out 3 branches next to where I cut. So that's like 1, 2, 3, which was so cool. And I cut off here also, as you can see, and it shoot out 1, 2, 3 also. There's another one coming out, a baby there. And I cut out 1 here, and again it shoot out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. you know. And so it's actually, it is actually only three now that I can count, that I cut out, you know. So it helps to, if you feel yours is getting all leggy, it helps to cut the stem off, and then you can put those stems in water, and then where you have cut it, it's gonna branch out, it's gonna shoot, and it's gonna get nice and full, you know. And that's exactly what happened with mine. I mean, I love how it looks now. It looks very nice. So that's how to get it bushy. That's how to get it bushy. If you see it's getting all leggy, you just trim it, you just prune it, you know, and you'll see it will get fuller and bushier. And also move it away from low and medium light and put it where it will get bright light. Now, it's very easy to propagate this plant, umbrella plant. I love it. It's very easy to propagate it. I took what I cut out, the 3 stems which I cut from it. I thought actually I cut more. I didn't cut more. I actually cut only 3. You can see it for yourself. It was only 3 that I've cut out. And all those 3, they have developed roots. And believe me, it took so long. It took so long. That's a thing about propagation. I always say propagation is not for people who don't have patience. If you don't have patience, leave it alone. But it tests your patience, you know. So I am very patient, I must say. So I took it, I put it in water, I put it away where, you know, I only visited to change water and all that. So I'm just gonna show you. It's been months, I don't know how many months, but this is where we are now. We've gotten roots, you know, we've gotten roots. And even in the time that it has been in this water, I've got, this is new, this is new. And there we go. Let me put this one away. And here's another one. You can see it's coming along, the roots are coming along. And this is new, these 2 leaves are new. And then here's the last one, it's coming along. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, but you probably not. I wish it could focus, but there I'm getting new shoots right there, you know. So it's very easy to propagate. It just takes forever, it just takes long before you can start seeing the roots, but trust me, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So what I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna stick them back into the soil. I'm not gonna plant them separately. I'm gonna stick them back in here because I really want to make it all nice and bushy. So I'm gonna put it back in the pot when I feel it's time for me to do that. So yeah, just to make my pot nice and full. So yeah, that's propagation. Otherwise, you can cut your stem like I did, and you don't do water propagation. You just take your potting mix and you put it directly into the soil, but then put a plastic bag around it. Once you've watered it, put a plastic bag over it, that it can create humidity, you know, that it can encourage the roots to root quicker, you know. So that's another way to do it. You can create like a greenhouse kind of a thing going for it. Put it in soil. If you have a big Tupperware, or you can even put it in there and close it. Maybe drill a few holes on top. That some of the moisture can escape. You know, it doesn't build up too much. And yeah, then it will actually develop the roots much faster because of that humidity. So yeah, that's all, I think. Yeah, that's all. So that's how you care for this beautiful plant. It's such a, for me, it's such a success story to be able to sit here and give you care tips on it, because I know where I come from with it. I learned a lot, and to be able to sit here and say I'm okay with it, I'll get more if I find more. It's a very nice and easy to care for plant. It's a joy because it comes from a place where I had to really learn and learn and learn and teach myself what does this plant like, what am I doing wrong, you know, what doesn't it like, you know, and all that. So yeah, I'm glad that I can share that with you. And if you don't have this plant, or you have this plant and you're having issues with it, I hope this will help. I hope this will help. And if you don't have this plant and you never thought of it, please go get yourself one. Believe me, you won't be disappointed. um it's very easy to care for, absolutely easy to care for. But it's been fun. Let me know what you think. Looking forward to your comments. And thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for your likes, your comments. All that means a lot to me. Remember to click the notification bell that you don't miss out on new uploads. But otherwise, it's been fun. Until next time, bye.